Hello, manifestors. Glad to see you again. And this is the second on-camera video. By the way, my name is Sylviane. I am a manifesting coach. And if you need my help to manifest your desires, all the links that you need are down below this video. My one-on-one coaching, email coaching, manifesting guide, group coaching, everything that you need. So as promised, today we are going to discuss someone's story, a client of mine who manifested her SP after 4 years. Now, not 4 years of doing everything that she should have been doing, but regardless. Again, time is an illusion. And if you don't really understand that, don't really believe that, research some scientific articles where they discuss time and how time was a construct of humans. So we could have markers, so to speak, to project ourselves better in the present, future, and past. So anyhow, it doesn't matter how long you've been after your specific person to manifest your specific person. So whether it's 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, or 10 years, it doesn't matter, because linear time being just an illusion, not something that really is real and matters at all, it doesn't matter. And this story is not so much about what this person did anyway, but more about what she understood not to do, right? Meaning that to manifest your specific person, you don't have to do sats, you don't have to do affirmations, you don't have to do scriptings, you don't have to do anything. You can just decide, you make the decision and you stick to it, right? You decide that you are the person that is meant to be with your specific person, and you will be. You decide and you convince yourself. As Neville said, there is no one to change but self. So you don't have to convince them. You don't have to chase them. You should not chase them. You don't have to do anything outside of you whatsoever. You have to convince yourself. So this is why I'm saying you don't have to do sat, you don't have to affirm, you don't have to do anything but convince yourself. Now, again, if you want to use those tools, those techniques, you are free to use them, as long as you are using them to convince yourself. So what's the story of this person? Well, this person, like many of you, had a specific person. She had a very strong connection with that person, but she had a very nasty self-concept. She felt not good enough, mainly, and other things that eventually manifested her being dumped by that specific person. And this is why we are saying over and over that self-concept is everything, because self-concept is about yourself, right? It's not about a specific person or 10,000 specific people. So if your concept of self says, I'm not good enough, relationships are hard, people that I meet eventually dump me, people that I meet eventually get interested in someone else, and things like that, which is part of your self-concept, meaning what you believe about yourself and what you believe in a relationship, in this case, then eventually you will manifest being left alone, right? That person is going to leave you, not because they want to, because again, they're just a mirror of yourself, but they are going to eventually leave you because you are manifesting this experience in your life. So this is exactly what happened to this person. So what happens in the mind of someone who is just dumped by someone they really, really love and want? Well, the first few weeks, not to say months, this person is going to feel destroyed inside, very bad, very low, very lost even. And that's exactly how she felt. But it is because she felt so hurt, so sad, so depressed because she was hurt, right? That she looked for some answers. So what happens to people who are in this situation? They maybe first hear from people from the law of attraction, some other coaches, you name it, and they try things. But those things don't really work because many of those things talk about the other, not about you. So anyhow, eventually she discovered Neville Goddard. She discovered the teaching of Neville, and she started understanding very clearly that the reason why her SP was gone was because of her. Obviously, not because of her doing something on purpose or blaming herself whatsoever, but of something that she created from within that eventually created the situation that she created, meaning RSP leaving her. But it is true that it's one thing to understand something intellectually, and it's another to start understanding it from within and practicing what we learn. And this is what I helped this person do. So to make a long story short, at first, she was, no matter what, she realized, right, that for the longest time, for a good couple of years, she was in the state of lack. So no matter what she did, she started with affirmations and then she moved on doing sats. But all this while, nothing was happening because, by the way, her SP was completely silent and MIA for 3-4 years. And this is because she was doing it from a state of complete lack. And every time I hear people say, my affirmations don't work, my sats don't work, whatever I do, I see no movement, it's most likely because you are doing this from a state of lack. And at the end of the day, the state will always be the dominant factor of what you manifest in this life. So if I affirm SP loves me, SP loves me, SP loves me, but really deep down, I'm in a complete state of lack, of missing the SP, of being sad and depressed because the SP isn't here. It doesn't matter if I affirm 10,000 times a day. That state of feeling that the SP isn't here, that I am completely empty without the SP and sad and desperate, I am not going to manifest that SP. And this person, this client of mine, could testify to this 100% because she did, right? She completely realized and took full responsibility for the fact that it took so long. However, once she started doing the things correctly, so to speak, things started changing very quickly. This is why I was telling you earlier in this video that this is not so much about what she did, but what she didn't do. So what did she didn't do? Well, she stopped doing anything she was doing from a state of lack. And by the way, for those who are still asking me if they should reach out to the SP, if they should contact the SP. This is the answer that I have for you, and I'll say it once and once only. If you want to contact your SP for any reason, but the reason that you think that they are going to come back faster, then go ahead, do it. Contact them, call them, text them, whatever. But most likely, I know this is not the reason why you want to contact the SP. You want to contact the SP because you think that by doing this physical 3D action, it's going to change things for you. It's going to make the SP come faster or become aware that you are interested in them. Please, if you do contact any SP for that reason, stop now. You are not helping yourself at all. Absolutely not. And I know that for a fact. For a fact. I cannot even tell you how much I know this for a fact. Okay? So, the things that she never did and that started really making a difference for her. She never contacted him. She never chased him in one way or another. And when he started, because she was doing the right thing, right? She was doing SATs and she was working on the state of being the person that she wanted to be. The SATs, she did it for a month or two, and then she even dropped that. She just maintained the feeling of knowing what she wanted, knowing that it was hers. That's all she did. But what's most important is what she didn't do. So again, she didn't chase. She didn't contact the SP. And when he started reacting on her social media, she didn't budge. She didn't react most of the time. And once in a little while, she would like his comment, for example. But for the most part, she did nothing. He left her a good dozen little messages, a little sentence here and there. And I reminded her, don't do anything about it. Because the thing is, I didn't just tell her, don't do anything about it. Every time she would tell me, what should I do? I would ask her, why are you asking this question? Are you asking me this question because you feel that, oh my gosh, if I don't react, maybe he's going to think I'm not interested? Most of the time she would say, yes, that's kind of why I want to kind of reply or acknowledge his comment. And I said, if it's the reason, then don't. You are manifesting an SP from within, not from the reaction that you are reacting to when they show a little bit of interest in you. The second question I would ask her is that what you want? Do you want your SP to comment on your little pictures? Is that what you want? Is that your goal? Is that where you're going when you go to the end? And she said, no, that's not what I want. Then I would say, there you have your answers. No, you do not react. You leave it alone. Once in a little while, if you want to acknowledge by giving a thumbs up or something like this, that's the very maximum that you should do if you do anything. But even that, you don't have to. And she did that, right? So sure enough, it started coming more and more. Eventually, they started having exchanges through messages, written messages, texts. But when that happened, he was not yet the version that she wanted. So again, when she started reacting negatively to those comments, sometimes saying that he was driving her crazy, I would remind her, okay, he's back, but is that the version that you want? And she would say, no. Okay. So what do? Well, you continue doing the same thing than when he was completely silent. When he says anything that is nowhere close to what you do is you do not react. You do not react, and you go in your imagination and you revise. He said something stupid, something not interesting, something that proved that he was in another version than what you want. You revise. You imagine that he sent you the best message ever, the best text ever. And she started doing this. And then she had to do it a whole lot. Why? Because a lot of his messages at first were not at all what she wanted to hear. Even if it was conversation, even if it was connection, even if it was polite, it wasn't what she wanted. So every time she revised the text, and she revised the text some more. And what happened? Well, eventually, he started to conform to what she had imagined. So eventually, they had a date. But the thing is, interestingly, she's the one who kind of initiated the date. So guess what happened? Well, the date didn't go at all as she wanted. So what she did was what she had done for weeks now. She did not react. She calmed down. She did the be still and know that I am God prayer for like a couple of hours in a row. She did that. And afterwards, she revised the whole thing. And she just left it alone. She knew that after this sour date, she wasn't going to contact him at all, no matter what. So she didn't. She kept to her word and she did not contact him. And what happened after about 3 weeks, he did contact her. And after that, again, to make a long story short, everything started evolving to her liking. And eventually, they started dating again. And today, they are together. So I didn't want to make a whole long story about this because it's a very common type result. You could listen to all the success stories, the SP success stories, they're all the same. It doesn't really matter, right? Because number one, as I always say, and will maybe never get tired of saying and repeating if you need to, how you manifest one thing is how you manifest everything. So how you manifest NSP is how you manifest health, money, a house, a car, whatever it is, a vacation, whatever it is that you want. It's all the same. How you manifest one thing is how you manifest everything. How you manifest an SP is the same as everything else. It starts with a decision and embodying this knowing type state that no matter what, by the way, when I say no matter what, even if you have negative thoughts, even if you have doubts in the middle, because she did, who wouldn't? We all, everyone that has ever manifested a specific person has doubts once in a while. It's not always easy to maintain a state 24/7 all the time. Actually, it's not possible. That's why Neville said it's the state that you constantly return to that manifests, not the state that you constantly in. Do you realize he never said the state you're constantly in? Because we are never in any state constantly, right? So She had doubts, she had her ups and downs, she had all type of things, even with me, even with my help. But what mattered is that when she did, she didn't dwell in it, because as soon as she felt that she was going downhill, she was like, hey, no, I'm not going there. Remember, this person is yours. Remember, you are God having a physical experience. Remember that if it's your desire, it's already yours, no matter how little victim you feel right now. And every time she went back on her feet, so to speak, and every time she just kept continuing as best as she could in the state. Again, it's not about doing sats, it's not about affirmation, it's not about any of that. It's not so much about the techniques that she did and then stopped doing. It was more about what she wouldn't allow her to do, which is anything that had to do with chasing, with reacting, and with taking any type of action in order to get the guy. So anyhow, I hope this video was helpful. I know it was short, maybe it's lacking little details that you're craving for. But again, if you are, it's because you have not understood what I'm talking about in here. So just watch it again. All right. I hope it was clear that it's not about the techniques. It's about deciding and maintaining the state as much as you can and doing nothing else. And USP will come back because it's law, because it works every time. If you need my help to manifest your SP or anything else in your life, again, you can contact me by using the links down below. Everything is down below. And with much love, thank you for watching and see you next time.